Hello everyone, I am finally back with another one of these, and before I even start to talk about the end of the 80s, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who keep checking out these videos and keep asking me when the next one is about to drop. Thank you, it makes all the work I put into this worth it. The year of 1989 was not the most fun year to explore when it came to our beloved horror genre. Most of the big studio efforts came and went with little praise or attention, and it seemed like all of the big horror franchises either plummeted in quality or just stopped delivering sequels by the time this year arrived. In fact, the list you're about to see only contains 2 sequels, the lowest amount since my list for 1984. If this is the first out of these lists on my channel that you have come across, then you should know that this list is compiled together by me and me only, so personal taste will play a huge part in what makes the list and how it is ordered. I'll be very happy to read your own list or which films you think deserve to be included, so make sure you post your thoughts in the comment section below. So, let's get down to business. Here is my list of the top 10 horror movies from the year of 1989. Starting off at the very bottom of this list, on the number 10 spot is the fun and gory slasher film Intruder. This film is directed by first-timer Scott Spiegel and produced by his friend Sam Raimi, so as you should expect, this film has a funny comedic twist to it. The entire thing takes place in a supermarket, and they take full advantage of the setting to provide fun and gory murder set pieces. It against all odds manages to feel fresh in a time where slasher films are kinda done for already. Spiegel would go on to continue working with Raimi over the years and has also been able to put out a few more directorial efforts, which does include the second From Dusk to Dawn movie and a third Hostel film. I'll say that I think Intruder is his best work as a director yet. Intruder is a film that should satisfy most slasher fans, and although it doesn't have anything groundbreaking to offer, it will be a nice addition to the collection for all fans of the genre.
I'm just crazy about this store. Intruder.
At number 9 we got the strange haunted house film from Japan with Sweet Home. The legacy of Sweet Home is perhaps felt more by its Famicom game, which was released at the same time, and it even shared a trailer together with the movie version. The game is said to be very influential in the survival horror game genre and is credited as a strong influence for the now legendary Resident Evil franchise. The movie might not have had the same impact on cinema or the horror genre, but it is a fun film filled with lovely camera work and enjoyable special effects. The best way to describe Sweet Home would be to call it a mixture of Evil Dead 2 and Poltergeist, with a mix of Japanese madness to it, of course. I should also note that writer and director Kiyoshi Kurosawa would go on to have a nice career for himself after this film, and he delivered noteworthy entries in the J-horror boom of the late 90s, early 2000s, with stuff like Cure and Pulse. And I should also not forget to mention that some of the special effects were handled by none other than Academy Award-winning effects artist Dick Smith. If his name is not familiar, then just know that he handled the effects on The Exorcist. If you want me to talk more about Sweet Home, then there is a full video review up on my channel. So check that one out, as Sweet Home is a fun film that still hasn't been able to find its audience.
48時間呪いの背後に潜む暗黒の支配者の正体とは何か本格ホラー映画スイートホーム
At number 8 we got the surprisingly enjoyable sequel with Chud 2 Bud the Chud. This is a sequel to the 1984 film Chud, a film I don't really care all that much about, so I was pleasantly surprised at how much fun I had with Bud the Chud. This one goes for the laughter, and it sure got it from me. There was countless of other zombie films in the 80s that also went for comedy, but few managed to find that sweet spot that makes it work as a funny film without being insulting to the monsters they decided to use. I guess I might be in the minority of that opinion, as it is criminally unrated on IMDb and Letterboxd. So be warned that there are others out there that do not share the same enthusiasm about Bud the Chud like I do. But if you happen to be one of the many that enjoy awesome, funny 80 horror comedies and have yet to experience Chud 2 Bud the Chud, then trust me that it is worth checking out.
Unreal.
Chud 2. This Chud's for you.
At number 7 we get to enjoy Anthony Perkins as the classic characters Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in The Edge of Sanity. I am not the biggest fan of movies set in the 1800s, but Edge of Sanity is a wild one that could have only been created in the 80s. This Jekyll and Hyde story sees our main guy hooked up on cocaine while he walks around in the streets looking for prostitutes to abuse. To see what I consider to be such a classy actor as Perkins accept such an insane role makes this film unique, as his performance is what makes the film as fun as it is. Edge of Sanity is an oddity that I'm surprised I haven't heard more of over the years. It's not a great film, but the sheer insanity of it makes it a fun watch, and I think especially fans of the Psycho movies will have lots of joy seeing Perkins as a drugged up maniac in this atmospheric, weird mixture of the 1800s and the 80s by former porn director Gerard Kikoin. If all of this sounds like something you can find entertainment in, then make sure to check out Edge of Sanity.
To stay. You didn't think I was dead, did you?
Edge of Sanity. It's a ripping good time.
At number 6 we have another film that was a first time watch for me in preparation for this list, with the horror comedy cannibal film, Parents. This film tells the story of little Michael, a young boy who's afraid of what is supposed to be the main backbone to his life, his parents. He is afraid that his mother and father are not only meat lovers, but in fact human meat lovers. The parents are made up of experienced actors Randy Quaid and Mary Beth Hurt, both delivering fun performances, especially Quaid, who is the highlight of the film. Parents was actually a flop back in '89, only making back about $1 million on a $3 million budget, and it hasn't exactly gathered a big crowd of fans over the years as far as what I know, but perhaps and hopefully the 2017 Blu-ray release by Lionsgate has made more people aware of it. There definitely is a crowd out there that will love this film, so if anything about this sounds interesting to you, then pick up the Blu-ray and give Parents a go.
Now, there's a new name for terror. Parents.
Wouldn't be a list like this without having Freddy Krueger pop up, and unintentionally, at number 5 we have A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 5, The Dream Child. This is not the most loved entry to the Freddy franchise, and it definitively has its problems, but even so there are still plenty of stuff to enjoy about it to make it deserve a respectable spot on this list. I love the dark visual look of the film, and there are some top of the line special effects on full display in The Dream Child. Some of the new characters might not be all that great, but we still have Lisa Wilcox as Alice, and of course the legend Robert Englund as Freddy Krueger. I can't count on my own hands how many times I've seen this one, as the Nightmare series is my favorite horror franchise of all time, and regardless of the problems people might have with this film, I firmly believe that it delivers 90 minutes of awesome entertainment. So if you are lukewarm on this one and haven't seen it in a while, then take my word for it and give a second chance to A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child.
This time it's for keeps!
A Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child.
It's a boy!
Continuing on at number 4 we got Brian Yuzna's Bride of Reanimator. I had honestly forgotten just how much gory fun this sequel actually had, as it had been years and years since the last time I had watched it. After rewatching it again now, I wouldn't be surprised if other fans would hold it as dear to their heart as the first Reanimator, as I think they're actually quite close in quality. What this film does better, dare I say, is the pacing, as it doesn't need to take any time in setting things up like the original obviously had to. They throw you right into the fun stuff, and before you know it there's entrails and organs being thrown at the screen for your enjoyment. Bride of Reanimator is an excellent sequel to an iconic entry of the 80s horror genre, and I'll say that it might even be a bit underrated, so if it's been a while for you, then pick up a nice looking Blu-ray and have yourself a blast with Bride of Reanimator.
Lovecraft's Bride of Reanimator.
Are we having fun yet?
Coming in at the number 3 spot is the controversial Killer Clown film Clown House. This is a scary and fun film about a group of escaped inmates from an asylum that come across a circus where they kill off the real circus clowns, grab their outfits, paint up, and set their sights on terrorizing 3 young boys who are home alone without any parental guidance. What the movie is more known for now, however, is not being a scary little film, but rather the terrible events that took place behind the scenes. If you don't know anything about what I'm talking about, or perhaps just want to hear me go more into detail about Clown House, then you can check out my full video review of the film, which are available somewhere on my channel. Even so, if you take Clown House on its own merit, if you're able to, then you will have a killer clown movie that is actually entertaining, atmospheric, and at times even scary.
To an end. Clown House, now available on video cassette.
Only 2 films left on the list, and coming in as a runner-up is the only Italian entry to this list, and what an entry it is, as this is Michele Soavi's The Church. In this we see evil from the medieval times being unleashed from the crypts of a church that was built on cursed ground. Soavi is able to build a great atmosphere and keep it running throughout the entire movie. It's obvious that it was in his creative prime, and his dedication to make every single scene feel like it was done with care and attention is nothing less than impressive. Soavi takes full advantage of his gothic-looking church. It has a cool cast, and I believe The Church is a film that every fan of Italian horror needs to have in their collection. This is also another one that I've done a full video review of, so if you want to hear me speak more on this film, then you know what to do once this video is done. But even more importantly, if you've never gotten around to it yet, then make sure you treat yourself to a night with The Church. And here we go at number 1, with what I consider to be the best horror film of 1989, and that honor goes to Pet Sematary. This adaptation is arguably one of the finest horror films based on a Stephen King story. At least it deserves to be up there amongst them. It is a film that deals with human emotions and how we deal with death and grief, and it has moments that hit you right in your stomach and might make you question what you would do if you were in the position of the leading character, Louis Reed. Pet Sematary has grown on me over the years, and I seem to find more and more things to enjoy about it the older I get. The scary stuff works better, and the emotional stuff gets me more and more. My gripes with the film is that I don't care all that much for Dale Midkiff as Louis Creed, but other than that, I gotta give it up to director Mary Lambert for her magnificent work on this film, and it was without any question during the making of this list that Pet Sematary would rise to the top and be honored as my choice for the best horror movie of 1989.
Stephen King's all-time best-selling tale of horror. Pet Sematary.
And that's that. My final list of the top 10 best horror movies from the glorious decade that was the 1980s. Now I'm curious, what were your thoughts on this list, and which horror films did I miss that you feel deserve to be included in the top 10? And like I asked at the end of the last video, would you prefer me to go on into the 1990s? A decade that doesn't exactly have the best reputation when it comes to horror? Or perhaps go back a bit and explore the rawness of the 1970s? I'm torn about it, and I'm considering doing both, just switching decade for each top 10 video. I do appreciate any type of feedback regarding this, so make sure all your thoughts are heard in the comment section below. As always, I gotta thank each and every one of you for taking time out of your day to watch my little corner on YouTube, and I will be back soon again with more content for you, here on Cinema Terror.